Those berries you love with your breakfast or those almonds for an afternoon snack, they wouldn't be possible without bees. I'm Tisha Pell.
And I'm Lee Zurich, but there's a crisis in the hives. Experts say the pollinators are dwindling at an unprecedented rate, with reports indicating 2025 is on track to be the biggest loss of honeybee colonies in U.S. history, and it's threatening the entirety of our food supply with potential shortages and higher prices on the horizon.
Reporter Heather Graff takes an in-depth look at the mysterious die-off and solutions needed to save the bees.
Beekeeping is kind of an art.
For more than 40 years, Jeff Pettis has been managing honeybees.
I need to go in and check to see that they're doing okay.
He operates around 100 colonies in Maryland. To him, it's more than a hobby, but he wouldn't call this work.
Very relaxing for me.
He turns off his phone and takes in the hum of the hive. But these days, that sound is becoming fainter.
I lost about 50% of my hive. That was the heaviest loss I've seen.
What does that do to a beekeeper, whether they're a hobbyist or commercial?
Well, before the financial part, there's a mental part of like, why am I doing this? And part of it is because most beekeepers love keeping bees.
It's a significant blow, one that many beekeepers across the country are facing. While some colony loss is to be expected each year, recent data shows commercial beekeepers nationwide lost an average of 62% of their honeybees between June 2024 and March 2025.
That's a huge portion of the country's bees.
An estimated 1.6 million colonies. That's more than half the country's honeybees, says Danielle Downey, executive director of Project APIS-M, which is a nonprofit that supports beekeepers and beekeeping science.
This is unprecedented. Definitely higher losses than we've ever seen before, even with colony collapse disorder.
And it doesn't just impact the bees.
It's very concerning because of the pollination that we need across the U.S. for vegetables and melons and almonds and everything else.
Without honeybees, Jeff says the consequences could be devastating.
The food prices and the availability of many of the fruits, nuts, and vegetables would skyrocket, and some would not be available.
According to Project APIS-M, bees are responsible for $17 billion in agricultural production in the U.S. annually.
1 in 3 bites of food is pollinated by a bee.
The financial impact of the current population decline is estimated around $600 million, due in part to lost pollination in almonds.
Just that one crop requires majority of the bees in the nation to be moved to California during that window of pollination.
Every year, commercial beekeepers like Brian Ashurst rent them out to pollinate California's almond crops. The state produces 80% of the world's supply.
Without the honeybee, your almond crop doesn't happen.
Brian manages 25,000 colonies in Southern California. The recent collapse claimed more than 60% of his bees.
How concerning is all of this to you and your livelihood?
Oh, it's very concerning. There's only so much hits you can take before you start saying, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
He says he's tried everything.
Supplemental feed, medicate, monitor varroa levels.
And that last point about varroa levels is important. In June 2025, data released by the USDA's Agricultural Research Service linked the current honeybee losses to alarmingly high levels of viral infections. The cause, a parasite known as varroa mites.
This is a mite that roams around on a bee and pokes a hole and feeds on its blood, kind of like a tick. And in doing that, it vectors deadly viruses.
The mites have become resistant to a common treatment, leaving colonies at risk.
And once the viruses start, you can't stop it. It's going to run rampant.
USDA's Agricultural Research Service declined to speak on camera, but provided a statement saying in part, ARS will continue to use scientific research and innovation to determine effective treatment strategies and solutions.
Those are all young developing bees.
It's work that's near to Jeff's heart because he also happens to be a retired lead scientist with the USDA's Bee Research Lab.
It's very important to do research because the problems that we have in beekeeping always change.
For many beekeepers, federal funding has helped bridge a growing gap.
It's what's keeping guys going. It's that ELAP money.
ELAP is short for Emergency Assistance for Livestock, Honeybees, and Farm-Raised Fish Program. It provides financial aid to eligible beekeepers following significant hive losses. But Danielle says beekeepers need more than just emergency funding.
We need broader solutions that are going to look down the road further to prevent this happening and reverse this trend.
Viable treatments to control the mites, for example. Until then, she says there are small ways each of us can do our part to help support honeybee health.
Buy local honey. Use pesticides as a last resort. Plant flowers, even on a small scale on your deck or in your garden.
For now, Jeff says he's hopeful about the future because he has to be.
I can't imagine another 60% year loss coming back to back. It would be catastrophic for the industry.
His optimism rooted in not only the beekeepers, but also the bees.
They're wonderful creatures. They're very resilient.
There is one promising solution creating a buzz in the beekeeping community, and that's the honeybee vaccine. It's a novel approach, inoculating the queen so she can pass immunity to her offspring and help protect the entire colony against a bacterial disease called American foul brood.
Right now in beekeeping, we're struggling with just having very, very few tools in the tool belt that remain effective. And so as these new pieces of honeybee health technology come onto shelves, we're expecting to just see widespread improvements.
In early 2023, the USDA granted provisional approval of the vaccine, and studies have shown a 30 to 50% reduction in larval death among vaccinated colonies. Reporting in Washington, I'm Heather Graff.
Non-bee pollination solutions are also in the works.
At MIT, engineers have designed a robotic insect that could one day help with artificial pollination. The tiny device weighs less than a paperclip and can hover for nearly 17 minutes. Meanwhile, efforts are underway to develop self-fertile nonpareil almond trees, the most popular variety.
Ohalogenetics says their tree could reduce the need for commercial beehives by 50% or more. The first deliveries are expected in 2027.